Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of RoutingBox Friday Live. My name is Jonathan Anthon. We're going to do another session today talking about some of the big changes that are happening in New York State and actually kind of go through some of the ways that we're helping with those changes so that you can kind of understand what RoutingBox can do for your business. And for RoutingBox users, they understand what tools are out there, so if they need to make some changes to their account, they can reach out to us. If you're not using RoutingBox and you're trying to figure out how to navigate this stuff, we'll talk about how we can help you so that you can reach out to us and get the help you need. So I hope everybody's enjoying fabulous weather here in Buffalo today. Hopefully it's the same across New York State, wherever you are, and hopefully it'll hold off for us for the long weekend. So we're going to give things just a couple seconds for some folks to join live. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time in terms of questions. Last time we kind of waited till the end, and we noticed some questions kind of poured in after we wrapped up the stream. So this time we're going to be kind of watching for questions live. But if you have questions, go ahead and post them right away. Put them in there. We're monitoring that in real time so we can be notified if there are questions that pop up. And we may stop a couple times throughout the stream if we have some questions come in to answer those questions regarding what's going on. So in terms of your questions, so again, we're a software provider. We interface with MAS, we interface with Logisticare and CTG and Sentry and some of the other companies we're going to talk about today, the brokers we're going to talk about today, and of course, obviously, New York State. So we can answer questions in regards to how we can help manage some of the things that are going on. In terms of what to do or specifics about the changes, we strongly recommend reaching out directly to the broker, whether it be through Logisticare, through MAS, through your field liaison. If you have specific questions about the changes themselves, reach out to them. If you have questions about how you can manage those changes, that's where we come in and that's where we're going to be able to help you out. So let's go through first MAS. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with MAS. So 3 big changes that are happening. The first one is daily trip capacities. So you're going to tell them essentially how many trips you can handle in any given day. So the biggest way we can help in terms of deciding that, with the trip viewer, you can actually pull all of your historical activity reporting and you can filter that down to whatever you'd like to see how many trips you're handling. You'll want to consider no-show trips when you look at that capacity, because obviously when MAS is assigning those, they don't know that trip's going to be a no-show. You're going to have to dispatch a car to that trip. So you'll want to consider those in your capacity as well. So if you're averaging 30 legs plus 3 no-shows a day for a total of, 36 trips or so, you're going to want to make sure that's considered properly. 36 legs, so 18 trips. You want to make sure you're considering those no-shows and making sure that you're getting your fair share in terms of trips. So as you're pulling those reports, make sure that you are considering those no-shows, considering all of your trips, and then kind of look at it. Have you been a little heavier than you'd like to be? You drop down a little bit. Are you right where you like? Great. Would you like to add more? Increase that capacity. As long as you can handle the trips, that is giving you an opportunity to really tell MAS what your company is capable of, and then you'll be able to demonstrate that, obviously, once you have the trips. Second thing that is changing is they're asking you to list off zip codes that you service. So the issue was, I think in the past, some companies would say they'll service XYZ County, but then they only really do half of XYZ County. They don't really want to do the other half because it's really far away. So they're breaking it down to specific zip codes now. So again, in that trip viewer that I talked about, you can actually pull trips or even dollars by zip code. Maybe there's not many trips in a zip code, but they're longer trips and they're very profitable for you. You'll be able to see those things right within the trip viewer. So if you want to take a look at the trip viewer and how it can help with either of these 2 things, give us a call. Our support team is actually going to be proactively reaching out to some of our customers next week and trying to get to as many of you as we can. So if you do get a message from us, if you want to talk about this, make sure you call back, or you can even proactively reach out to us, 716-202-9121. Again, that's 716-202-9121, or you can email support@intelligentbits.com. You can also live chat or submit a ticket right through your RoutingBox software. If you go to the upper left to the blue road, I'll show that to you when we go over to the software demo in a second, and I'll show you where that is. You can do a live chat or a ticket from right from the software itself. So again, trip viewer, help you with that daily trip capacity, show you what you've got now so you can compare that to what you'd like it to be. Zip codes, we'll give you information so you can make a decision if a zip code that is, you're thinking about it, you're not quite sure, you can make that decision. One more clarification from last week's video that I got a couple questions on. I mentioned that you can actually choose, if there's a provider that is outside the zip codes that you want, that you'll actually have the option to let MAS know that you'll still accept trips from that provider. And I was asked, well, how do you do that? That's not in the things we have to fill out. The email that went out from MES, kind of the second email that went out a couple weeks ago, it was a list of 15 different questions for a Q&A. That was where that was pointed out, and the answer is to contact your field liaison and let them know. So if there's a provider outside of your zip codes that you want to cover, but you just want trips for that provider, let your field liaison know. That's how MES is handling that, according to their email. All right, so the third one. So this is the biggest one that we're hearing about, and this is obviously probably the toughest one to tackle, and it probably has the most impact on your business. Same-day trips. We're no longer going to get phone calls when there is a same-day trip assigned to you. So unless you have someone that's going to be refreshing your roster every 5 minutes and scouring through that roster to see if any of those trips are new, because it's not going to tell you that a trip is new. You're going to have to look through the whole roster and find it. Obviously, you're going to need a better solution. So here's how we can help. So we have an auto import tool built with MES. It's something we've actually had for a little bit that not a lot of folks have subscribed to, but it is available. Something we didn't cover last week that's important for our pro customers, which is most of our customer base, it is $50 per month on your invoice for the auto import functionality. If you are an enterprise customer, it is included in your package, so you can flip that on. There's no extra cost to you. The way that auto importer works is it's going to run the job to look for new or changed trips every 3 minutes automatically. So in the background, every 3 minutes, it's going to look for new or changed trips. Every hour, it's going to run all trips. So that'll catch if anything slips through the cracks for whatever reason that doesn't get indicated in the portal that it's new or changed. That will get caught with that hourly run to make sure we catch all those trips. From what we heard from MES, there's no reason to believe that we'll have any problems, but we wanted that safeguard in there just in case to protect you. It's also going to run tomorrow's trips because usually you get a call even if it's for the next 24 hours. So even if it's 3 p.m. today and this is an early morning trip for tomorrow, they usually call you. We want to make sure those next day trips get in so you're aware of that. So that's going to run every 17 minutes for tomorrow's trips to make sure that all of those are coming in so you can plan ahead if you would like to. Now, the other way that we can help, even if you don't do this auto import, because this does, you lose some of the validation. If you have pre-schedule your repeats because you like to kind of know what's happening ahead of time, if you make a lot of changes to your trips, this may not be best for you. So if those things are going on, when you call to activate this, our support team is going to look at how you're using RoutingBox and really make sure this is going to be a positive move for you. But again, if you're scheduling repeats a lot, making a lot of changes and modifications to trips, then this is going to override some of those things, and we don't necessarily want that, or you may not want that. So you're going to want to talk to the support team again, 716-202-9121. But if you decide whatever reason for one of those things is a major impact for you, you don't want the auto import, this is still actually better than running on the portal because, again, at least when you run the new or change job manually every 5-10 minutes, whatever it might be, it'll at least alert you to what the new trips are. Whereas if you're just watching the portal, again, that's going to go into that grid somewhere and not necessarily point it out to you that there's a new trip in there. So even if you just manually are running it through our importer versus on the portal, still going to be a benefit there to point out those new trips. Now, obviously, in RoutingBox, if we import the trip, it goes into your schedule. You'll probably notice it, but you may not. And we wanted to make sure that we made that easy for you. So I'm going to slide over to the display over here, and we're going to take a look at RoutingBox real quick and a new feature that will be coming out shortly. I don't want to commit to the date yet, but watch your RoutingBox Friday announcements. It will be before June 1st. But what's going to happen is up here in the top right corner, you have the RoutingBox logo. That's actually the old logo. We have replaced that with the new logo with the new build that's coming out for this. So you'll see the new RoutingBox logo up there. And what will happen is when you have any trip that has changed, so that could be a new trip, that could be a change to a trip, we will also give you the option to add cancellations. So the way cancellations work through the MAS API is when we go and search for a trip, if it's no longer there, then we're going to, essentially we have to assume it's canceled and then that cancels out. If you don't want to trust that, you can certainly turn that cancellation feature off. It's up to you. But anytime we have new trip, change trip, cancellation, little red circle is going to appear with a number in it with the number of unread notifications that you have. Very similar to when you get a text message on your phone and you have 3 unread texts, you've got that, that notification symbol on your messaging app that says 3. Same thing is going to appear right up here. You click on that, and it'll show you the details of the change that's happening, and then you can either expand it and read more if you want, or just close that notification and indicate that you're aware of that notification and everything is all set. So you think about it, even if you have multiple dispatchers, obviously you're going to want someone to take care of that. You can use that as a function where I see the notification, I don't get rid of the notification until I've assigned that vehicle or that trip to a vehicle. So very, very cool functionality there. I'm going to head over here. I'm going to show you the blue road as promised. So the blue road is up here. So when you touch that, that drops down a menu. We'll go ahead and click that for you. That'll drop down a menu which will open up the live chat feature or submit a ticket feature. You can chat with our support team or submit a ticket via email. So if you need to connect with someone for whatever reason, you can do that. Again, if you want to talk about the trip viewer, you want to go through whether or not the auto importer makes sense for you, you can live chat, call, submit a ticket, send us a Facebook message, whatever works for you will certainly work for us. All right, so that's going to wrap up what we're going to talk about today in terms of MAS. So again, if you have any questions about any of that, any details, please go ahead, leave us a comment. Obviously, you can always email us or call us as well for questions if you'd like to keep them to yourself. But if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. We're going to talk a little bit about Logisticare and then CTG as well. So Logisticare, an email went out a couple weeks ago now indicating that New York State was moving to ATMS. So this is actually something that's not new in terms of across the country. There are a few states across the country where Logisticare does require an ATMS integration. So essentially what that does is we actually connect our software directly to Logisticare. So when it comes to getting your trips, for those of you doing MAS, very similar to the MAS automatic download, or I shouldn't say the automatic download, but the direct connection. It's called Logisticare ATMS. It does the same thing. It connects directly to Logisticare. You actually put your login credentials in, and it pulls your trips down directly from Logisticare. When it comes to billing, it's the opposite. We collect all the billing data, and then our EDI billing tool, you choose Logisticare ATMS, and then put your credentials in. All the billing data gets pushed directly to Logisticare. So there's no files involved, no paper, very, very simple, nice and clean. Great process for everybody. So, Logisticare is moving across the country to move everyone towards this. So they've partnered with about a dozen or so software vendors that they've vetted and approved as being high quality software that meets their standards and also handles this integration. RoutingBox is one of those, and then there's a few others out there. So, and those are listed in that email. But essentially what they're saying is it looks like June 1st, from what I gathered from the email, it looks like they're going to start deprioritizing folks that don't have this. I think they said 10 to 15% would be the reduction in trips if you don't have it, again, based on the email that was forwarded to us. So, and then eventually their long-term goal is to get to the point, and in some states this is already happening, where if you want Logisticare trips, you have to have an approved software connection with that ATMS Direct Connect. So again, RoutingBox, we have that ready to rock and roll. So if you have Logisticare trips, you don't want to experience that reduction, you certainly want to prepare for the long term. And honestly, it saves you a ton of time and money on paper and managing your drivers and sending off billing documents. It makes things a lot easier. So really, if I were buying RoutingBox, I wouldn't do it just for that. That would just be gravy for me. There's a lot of other reasons that RoutingBox can really help your business. So again, questions about that. If you are doing Logisticare and you already have RoutingBox, you want to make sure you're all square, you can reach out to our support team, 716-202-9121. If you do not have RoutingBox, you want to learn more about that and how we can help with Logisticare and with MAS and all this other stuff going on, same phone number. You just want to press 1 and indicate that you're not a customer, and you'll get forwarded to the correct department. All right, last group I want to talk about is CTG. We mentioned this briefly last week, but I do want to kind of spend a little more time on it. CTG is in New York City. They have taken over AgeWell trips from National MedTrans. We do have our integration with CTG live. So essentially, when trips come in from CTG, they are going to go directly into your software. There's no importing. It's an automatic connection. They actually feed the trip right to us, so it goes right into your software, no questions asked. The notifications that I talked about will indeed work with CTG. Same thing, any new, changed, or canceled trips from CTG will go into your notifications. So you don't have to worry about that being separate from MAS. The notifications panel will handle both of those for you automatically. You don't have to do anything special. It's going to happen on its own once if you have the CTG integration activated and if you have the MAS auto import activated. So nothing else to worry about there. But I mentioned this last week, and I did have a couple folks reach out to me, but CTG is looking for transportation providers in Westchester County, New York City, and Nassau and Suffolk counties. So if you are a provider, you're looking to add some more trips on and you're a RoutingBox user, or you want to come on and join RoutingBox, let me know. And you can do that at info@routingbox.com. that would be the best way to catch us. Or again, you can call and contact me directly, and I will, I'll get you in touch with the appropriate people there. But they are looking for more providers. I know most of our providers are always looking for new work. So if you're interested in learning more, let me know, and I'll get in touch with the proper people at CTG. So Dylan, do we have any questions or comments yet? Nothing doing. All right, so cool. Hopefully that's because we covered everything thoroughly and everybody is ready to go for June 1st. So, auto importer, if you are an existing customer, you want that active June 1st. It does take a little bit of time on our side to get those activated. What we're doing is doing them in bulk on Thursdays. So Thursday is the 31st. When we do them, it's everybody that's requested it through Wednesday night. So if you want to have your auto import on with your notifications and everything on June 1st, we need to know and go through this process before close of business on Wednesday. Otherwise, it will not happen until the week after, and you'll have a week that you're kind of missing out. So if you want to activate this, please don't wait. Reach out to us. Again, ticket, live chat, call, whatever it might be. Please reach out and let us know. If you are interested in joining RoutingBox because of all these changes and wanting to be able to help manage your business better, please understand that this is we go through a thorough implementation process to make sure everybody's up and going. So please don't call me on the 31st and say, hey, I want to go live in RoutingBox tomorrow. It's unfortunately not that simple, and that's because we do it thoroughly and we do it right. Getting it right is much better, more important than doing it fast. So if you want to get this going, please let us know sooner rather than later so that we can work on getting things going as quickly as possible for you. At this point, I will tell you, unfortunately, it won't be by June 1st for us to do it properly. But we can get it going as soon as possible. But please, again, if this is something you want to do, please don't wait. Act now. 716-202-9121. Submit a ticket or go ahead and comment or send us a message on Facebook. That is all we have for today. So we thank you to everyone that joined live, to all of you that will watch this afterwards. Please share this with your friends, your coworkers. Make sure this message gets out there so everybody knows how we can help. And we will see you next time. Enjoy your holiday weekend.